All right, everyone. Welcome back for another episode of Carnivore Trades. Today is Thursday, June 13th, 2024. If you're not done so already, please give the video a thumbs up, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com for swing trading alerts. Analysis and live day trading. Again, last day of the flash sale here, so really good deals and discounts going on site-wide, including active trader, $40 for your first month. Took 650 points today on our runner position in NQ and almost another 100 on a short side, also scalping on ZT, also taking profits in Tesla with the swing service. So really good time here to join, last day to take advantage of that. But we got a couple of things to talk about today before we get into the video. Apple, what's going on with Apple? Yesterday there was a big sell-off, a lot of talk about that. Breadth. I'm hearing that over and over again. I'll give my rant on that too. And then GameStop, what's going on with that? I did a short video last night on Roaring Kitty, and it looks like he did sell his position. So it seems, certainly appears so. But in any case, let's talk about the markets here. So we had PPI this morning, and you're going to see here the ES. Never mind this little rising wedge here, although that could play out into the end of the day. You're going to see here we had a bid up on PPI, and that ended up being the high. So pretty good sell here, decline, little kind of bear flag set up lower high. And now we're starting to push back up here towards the end of the day. I do think we will get a lower high though, and there's a couple of reasons for that. One is that we're back to mega extension here on the triple Qs. So we're about 3 standard deviations from the 20 MA. That is roughly 20 points from here to here. Last time we were at that was up here. So 453 and change, 452.90 actually to be exact, and 432.50 we'll call it right here. Last time that did bring a little bit of consolidation here onto the tape. Now the spiders are a little bit different, right? So we were 200 points extended here. I talked about a pullback or consolidation. We got that. But right now spiders only 100 points. And if we look at the Dow actually red on the day again. XLV, I think, having a lot to do with that. XLV has been on the weaker side lately, and UNH down again, or excuse me, was down earlier, did come back by the end of the day, was down this morning. CRM again down 2.25, and then we've got Goldman here down 28 basis points. So a little bit of weakness here in the Dow, and remember the Dow is price cap weighted, so just remember that it's going to be, it's not market cap weighted, obviously. Then we have the Russell down 1% here. So if we get a reversal in tech, it doesn't have to mean the market has to come down, but these other sectors, others beaten down sectors could, pick up the slack here. But triple Qs, especially, very extended. Take a look at this. It's going to be unless we sell off in the next 35 minutes. That's 2 consecutive closes outside of the Bollinger Band with the entire candle outside of the Bollinger Band. That is almost unheard of. It rarely ever happens. And the SPX, the same thing. We did spike into that Bollinger Band, but we're going to close back above it unless we have a little spill here in the final 30 minutes. But either way, very stretched. You guys know I'm on Team Bull, and I have been for a while. I took my first intraday short today in a while, and it worked out pretty well for us on the NQ. But I'm still on Team Bull, but we're really stretched. I do think we're going to do backing and filling until OPEX, and it does look like there's some liquidity possibly coming out of the Treasury market, out of the TGA rather, that could pull liquidity out of the market. But again, overall trend is still intact, trend is up. I expect these flows, these positive tech flows to continue into OPEX. After that, we'll see what happens here, but overall, very good price action. Market is very strong, but very overbought here. And short term, I think bulls could be a little bit overconfident. So I'll say that right now. A couple of other things to look at. Let's just start with GameStop here. So GameStop getting another bounce today, and that just keeps chopping around. And I've given you that level at 24, and that is still holding for now. And I can show you the updated GEX here, and that's going to be right here. So there's still a gamma at 20. So call and net gamma, call and put, on both sides, but he has sold quite a bit. So you can see this looks like it's pretty much liquidated at this point. Could there be others in that? I mean, it's certainly possible, but you can see it very clearly right here from the 22nd. That's when he opened, and it looks like it's likely closed at this point. So net GEX still at the 20 handle, but and for me right now, it's all about that 24 area. So looks like he closed out for a small gain overall. He was a billionaire and now he's not. It's better than losing everything, because if we broke that 24 handle, those calls would decay really quickly. But overall, GameStop holding up right now, and it lives to fight another day. Some other top news right now is Apple. So a lot of much ado about nothing, if you ask me. There's a big sell-off. That means institutions. Buffett's unloading again. I mean, I don't really think that's the case at all. Again, to go back to the GEX, it's just gamma exposure. So it's not a coincidence that the high yesterday was 220 spot 2, and there's all that call gamma for next Friday. So Apple is probably going to be sell the rip until OPEX at least. That doesn't mean it's a short. That doesn't mean we're going to go lower. It just means that if it rips up towards 220, it's likely going to get reined back in, unless it takes some ridiculous exogenous move to break us. But this already was a pretty big move here. All that said, I'm going to keep saying it over and over. This is a power pattern on the monthly, and I don't think anybody should want to fight that. So big moves here for Apple. Overall, market overbought, extended. Breadth is terrible. We can talk about that. I hear it constantly on Twitter, on X. Breadth this, breadth that. The Russell 2000, big tech. Listen, that's not going to get your shorts out from underwater. So this has been the story for 18 months. We've had horrible breadth since the bottom in October, really after the first month or so. And I keep hearing this as a case of why we're going to crash and all this stuff. It's been, this is what's going on. Volatility is pinned at the index level. And if certain things are up, certain things are going to be down. That's why when tech pulls back, we see the Russell and we see energy and start to bid up. So I'm not making a ton out of breadth right now. Is it in the back of my mind? Yeah, but it's pretty obvious. I don't think it's sneaking up on anybody. And again, until support breaks, I said that all for the first quarter of the year. Until support breaks, it doesn't matter. Breadth this, breadth that. Macro, it doesn't matter. Until support breaks, you go with the trend here. And my cycle date hit perfectly on the 31st, and we're still mooning. So I think short-term pullback, consolidation, we're just really stretched, but my targets are still higher, and nothing has changed on that regard. There's the Qs again. IWM here down 1% again. Breadth is terrible. Okay, all right, fine. Here's the RTY back testing, 2025. And as long as we have weekly higher lows, you break above 2100 again, I think this can actually catch up. But we'll see what that does in the future. That doesn't guarantee anything. The diamond here, again, down 18 basis points. It did come off the lows. I showed you, UNH. Yeah, I take that back. Actually, XLV did come back pretty nicely, and you can see UNH obviously went green. It was weak earlier, though. But the Dow down 68 cents on the diamond. Not terrible. It's still trying to put in, I think, a zigzag pattern here. It definitely was not looking very good this morning. It held that white trend line there. It was definitely getting hit a little bit. All right, SMH here. We got to talk about Broadcom. So allegedly Hawk, the CEO, was never going to do a stock split. I don't know. Did Wall Street say, hey, come on, get this done here? Or maybe he just looked at NVIDIA and said, I'm tired of, not making these gains. But what a move for Broadcom. Let me just check. Yeah, now almost an $800 billion company. They're bigger than Tesla. I think they've been bigger than Tesla, but they definitely are now. And they still got a ways to go to get to Meta. But big move there for Broadcom, SMH up here. That was the other thing I was going to say. Possible hanging man there on the SMH and the Qs. So, yeah, standard deviation at 3. Just be a little careful here. If you're long, protect them. That's why you scale out on the way up. IGV pulling back here, down 76 cents. I still like the recovery, though. Looks nice. Dow Transports does not look nice, but it's bounced back. It has bounced back off the lows. And we'll see. I'm looking towards June OPEX for a lot of these things to start changing. But either way, a little bit on the weaker side there. Kind of coming into this trend line again. We'll see what it does. It's really done nothing for a long time, though. All right. Rates here today pulled back a little bit. We actually took a scalp on the 2-year earlier, and made a nice little quick pocket change there. But it is flirting with this level here, and it's close to 472. It's actually below that right now. On a weekly close is where I would get concerned. So if we close below that tomorrow, I'm going to say the 2 years going lower, likely. How much lower? I don't know. I don't think rates have that much downside, as you guys know, but that would be what the chart suggests. And the long end of the curve has already done that on all of those time frames. So long end still weak. We can get bounces here. Again, I still think 4.2 is pretty good for the 10-year, but rates definitely coming in, and the market's sniffing that out. We have inflation data, more inflation data tomorrow at 10 a.m. too, but not as important as CPI. XHP here up 23 cents, so decent price action. I want to see the weekly close. Right where it is, honestly, would be fine, as we would kind of negate that attempted little slice below the trend line there. Real estate, VNQ up 34 cents. Pulling back off that trend line, I do think it's got to chew through that. It's going to take some time. XLF, I'm very interested to see where this closes tomorrow. I have a hunch this is going to be up nicely tomorrow. Just because these daily head and shoulders, I just don't like them, and they usually fail. And you can see the same thing on, well, basically the same thing on KRE and KBE. So we'll watch where it closes the week. But Finn's bouncing off the lows, still on the weaker side today. Actually, JPM actually had a pretty nice rebound today too. But broker dealers, they're down on the weaker side. Again, 610 is short-term support there. Oil here is interesting. So we went up to 79.50-ish, and now we're trying to consolidate. So we're trying to go sideways here. If we can build a base, it can go higher. I like how we closed above the breakdown bar. That's technically, to me, that's a false breakdown setup. I just don't know if it's got enough gas. No pun intended. I'm not playing it. I'll day trade it if there's scalps, but that's it. I have no position in it, and I don't really mind at this point. XLE weaker, testing the 200. So still looking around 87. I like it down there. And then XOP, same thing, around 140, 141, 142. And OIH, maybe around 290, 292. So energy stocks on the weaker side, CCJ continuing to bounce. That trend is still going strong. And then URNM, I want to see this above this trend line by the end of the week. If it doesn't, it's not the end of the world because you're still holding this level. And you got a nice tail candle there, but it would be more bullish if it got above, right? Nat gas today, pulling back again. So, this happened like 3 times here. Every time I've traded it recently, I've made money, but the runner positions keep getting stopped out because we retrace, it stops out the runner before it can, do any damage. And then it goes the other way the next day. And that's happened, I think, 3 times in the last 3 months. But either way, nat gas pulling back here, down 3 1/3. I don't know, maybe 280 here on the July contract in the short term. Could it have one more leg up? It could, but I have no interest in playing it at the moment. Dollar index, very nice, very strong after weak producer price index data. So that's a pretty big sign there. When you can rally on bad news, right? I always talk about that. When you're rallying on bad news, dollar had bad news this morning. Again, another sell-off just like yesterday, and it's holding up. So dollar is still very good, and the weekly may be starting to curl back up. Who knows? Keep an eye on that. Gold on the weaker side here, starting to look like more of a bear flag. Again, I still think it needs to test 2250. I also don't like GDX lower lows there. SIL lower lows. And silver holding on to that 50 moving average, but I think it's going lower as well. Platinum is interesting here. I just had this on. You can see the 618 right there. Not that far away. So we'll see if that gets down there. There's a 200 moving average right below that. And then you've got palladium in a double bottom. So it'll be interesting if those hit at the same time. We'll be keeping an eye on that for sure. And then copper here, I think it wants 425. Doesn't mean it can't bounce, but that's still going to be my level. All right, and then Bitcoin here backing off. So we bounced yesterday and then backed off today, still above the green bar. As long as we're above that on a close, its price is fine. It's looking like it wants to do backing and filling. But again, like I keep saying, the weekly time frame is still fine. So just bigger picture, backing and filling. What I will say is that you had, not terrible, like some of these miners like CLSK was up, Mara, it's down, but it's still got a higher low potential. And the same thing with Riot. Riot green today. Riot's a weaker one. And then MSTR, lower low there. Coinbase, no lower low. So the miner's kind of holding up better than Bitcoin itself. Maybe that's a sign, maybe not. Just something to keep note of. So anyway, markets here, yeah, backing off to 54.30. There is a little call wall there. So we'll see if they back it off below 54.30 by the end of the day. It's not of much consequence here. I think the markets are just a little overbought and stretched. We need to do backing and filling. If that's it, just into OPEX, that's just into OPEX, but specifically tech, obviously. But just be careful. A couple hanging man there on SMH and the Qs. But trend is up, and I still think the next pullback, when we get one, is likely a dip for buying as well. So anyways, guys, gonna wrap up here. You guys take care. Come find me on carnivoretrades.com, and I'll see you guys all tomorrow.